statement, and we'll take questions. Coach?
Yep, very excited to get to win today on the road. Challenged our kids at the beginning of the week to do all the little things right off the field, be great with our accountability, and when that happens, and you have a great week of preparation, and you come out and you play with great effort, and play with great precision, challenge them to win the line of scrimmage and be physical on both sides of the ball, and we did that, and to win the turnover battle, which we did as well. So very excited for the kids, very excited for the program. It was a great team win today.
Questions? Start with Steve.
Coach, take us through a decision to start Tommy today.
Today, yeah, Garrett had some general health issues, throughout the week, and went through and just on Thursday decided, for the kids, for the offense, and for the team, it was in our best interest to start Tommy for this week.
Joel?
Is there anything concerned about long term with Garrett?
I don't believe so, but we'll continue. We'll get him in on Sunday again. Go for that.
Tyler?
With how good Tommy looked today, how much does that kind of complicate the quarterback situation going forward?
Yeah, it hadn't been real easy. It's a good complication, I guess, when you have two guys that are playing well. So we're get back, watch a film, have a bye week, kind of digest it. And good news is, 2 weeks before we got to make a decision. So, at times, both have played very well, and some don't have one. And it feels good to have two.
Ben?
Coach, I think it was Darryl earlier this week said kind of that the offense goes, the run game goes. Today, obviously, it went. And what can you say about Kylan and Nick Gibson, who also had over 100 yards as well?
Yeah, we said a bunch of times that the success of our offense is predicated on our ability to run the ball successfully. When that happens, teams have to support their run with secondary force, linebacker force, or pressure, and that creates one-on-ones on the perimeter and allows us to take some shots outfield. So I thought the guys did a great job, getting movement at the line of scrimmage and being physical. I thought the running backs did a great job running behind their pads, and I thought Tommy and the quarterbacks did a great job of making the correct decisions to get the ball to who we need to go to.
Steve and Tyler?
Coach, considering the first quarter struggles at times this year, what was the mood like on the sidelines after you guys put a couple scores on the board and able to relax a little bit?
It was good. I mean, first drive score is always a goal of ours. I think it's been since the second or third week that we ain't hit that, and it didn't show up because it was a scramble. But the first play of the game was a post option route to Osiris, and he kind of ran into the safety. So we were trying to take a shot downfield, but ended up running it well, converting some third downs, and was able to put the touchdown in. So it's a lot easier when you're not digging yourself out of a hole, and it was good to jump out fast on both sides of the ball.
Tyler?
When you named Garrett the starter a few weeks ago, you said that Tommy was going to be needed at some point. That came to fruition today. What was it like for you to see that, and like I said, to see him play that well too? Yeah,
I mean, it's not coach speak. I mean, I view Tommy like a son, and I really do. And when we made the decision, ultimately, it hurt him, but it was in the best interest, of the offense and the team to move ahead with Garrett. But to his credit, he came in, didn't pout, didn't complain, didn't ask why. He understood, kept his head down and kept working. In the past 2 weeks, I think he's really been, as healthy as he's been since the beginning of the season. So, when he got his opportunity, it's always nice to see one of the good guys get rewarded. And Tommy Stevens is one of the good guys in college football.
Joel and Steve?
Now that you got it, just how relieving is it to kind of end that losing streak and to just get a win and to just kind of be able to take a breath a little bit?
I guess in a certain respect it is, but in this conference and in Division I football in general, wins are so hard to come by, and we try to put the losses behind you and move ahead to the next game. So I guess in a general sense it is, but also happy that our kids have been able to maintain that singleness of focus and not carry some of those losses with us into the next week.
Coach, you added some end-around action, some new wrinkles in that respect. Why did you think that would work, and why was it so successful?
They play some man-free coverage and some zone with man components underneath it, and that we had run that play against LSU, I believe, earlier in the year off of a outside zone action. Today we were in off a power sucker, so we thought with as much of that scheme that we run, that we could get people running, east and west and create some misdirection and. Hit one with Kylan. I guess the reverse didn't hit, but then hit another one with Kylan. So, just thought it was a good element of misdirection.
Ben and Logan.
Coach, you get the pick six from Marcus Murphy. Obviously, he's been in and out of the lineup,
awesome.
But to get him into the lineup and making a difference, and Willie as well, how much does that help defensively?
I mean, it's great to have Marcus Murphy on the field, and Willie Gay. It helps and it matters. So, before the game, we talked about each kid dedicating the game to somebody, and read a letter from Marcus to the team, and dedicated it to his mom and his son. And if you have met, Marcus's mom, she's a wonderful, tremendous person. And for him to get a pick six in his first college start and play a very good game, I'm sure she's looking down on him, smiling right now. And I'm sure Marcus is proud to be able to dedicate that game to her, because I'm sure it meant a lot to him and to her.
Just about everybody that was, you said it was questionable earlier in the week, either dressed out or got to play. How good was it to get those guys back?
Thomas Collins and his staff did a real nice job, because on Sunday when we went through, or Monday when we went through the injury report, I mean, we almost needed 2 pages for the first time. So, the guys healed up, did a great job, with their training stuff, and it was a pleasant surprise to have as many of them back as we did.
Back left to home.
You mentioned that Marcus wrote a letter to the team just before the game. What does that do to the team? What did it change kind of the atmosphere, how they felt?
Yeah, at the beginning of the week, I had all the kids, write a letter and say why they play the game of football and who they would dedicate this game to, and we collected them and kind of read through a bunch of them. And then, last night at the team meeting, after position meetings, picked a few out that really kind of resonated. And, Marcus is one of them, and, he's gone through most as a 17, 18-year-old kid that breaks most grown men. So for him not to just be able to be here at Mississippi State, but flourish, and he's doing great academically and taking care of his son. He's a guy that we're going to continue to fight for, and he's got a very, very bright future at Mississippi State.
Hey, obviously KJ Jefferson from Mississippi got in there late. What did you see out of him on his drive?
KJ,
Yeah.
KJ's a heck of a football player, and we were recruiting him when we got here, and I believe Garrett had been committed already, and we weren't taking 2 in that class. But Coach Diffie did a real nice job with him. KJ's a heck of a football player. Did some nice stuff in the run game, through a nice back shoulder go. So I think KJ's a real good kid. I think he's very talented. I think he's got a bright future.
Tyler, then Steve.
Kylan looked as good as ever today, career high in rushing yards. What can you say about him that hasn't been said at this point?
A lot of superlatives. So I think for the second week in a row, after a couple of weeks that were maybe, kind of below, our expectation level or performance level, and that wasn't on Kylan at all. I mean, it was all of us. But he strung a second straight week together of consistent habits, mentally and physically, during the week. And I've continued to harp on him that the more you stay positive, the more you stay humble, the more you work during the week, and all those little things, they're going to reap dividends on Saturdays. And he's had his 2 best weeks of preparation the last 2 weeks since we've been here, and that work's been justified on the field.
Steve, then Ben.
A lot of talk this week about the Y letters. So what's your Y, Coach?
What was my why? I didn't write a why letter, but I did dedicate the game to my mom and my dad. And I'm the youngest of 3. They sacrificed to make sure that my brother and sister and I didn't have to do the things they did. My dad worked in a steel mill for 35 years. Worked a second job as a janitor, as a bartender, everything to make ends meet, and made sure his kids were sent to schools where they could provide discipline and work ethic. And he essentially gave up a lot of his life and things he wanted to do to make sure my brother, sister, and I were in a great position. And taught me when times were adverse, bow your back and bow your neck and keep working. And I was proud to be able to dedicate this game to my mom and my dad.
Coach, you talked about playing a full 60-minute football game. We talked at A&M last week that the second half was close to what you wanted. Do you feel like today was a 60-minute football game for you all?
I think so. I mean, there's going to be spots like any coach or any staff where you go back and you want to correct some things, but for the most part, I thought we jumped out fast. We talked about starting fast, and we did finish strong. Driven the drive out there. But as coaches, we're always going to kind of linger and worry more about the things we need to correct and enjoy the things we did well. So, but I do think it was as close to a 60-minute complete game as we played this season.
In starting fast, was there anything you felt like was different this week in practice or anything like that?
In practice?
Do you feel like there was any reason that you all were able to jump out quickly?
I think we converted some third downs, and I think even though we didn't convert it, we took a shot early, and I thought we had a really nice plan in the run game, and Arkansas really presents some challenges from a front and a pressure standpoint, and I thought we had a pretty good beat on it. But when you can lean on the run game, and the guys are knocking people off the ball, and the running backs are behind their pads, and I thought that was a good start.
All right.